So, what advice would you give your teenage self when you were teenage from now?
I'm dyslexic, so I would talk to my younger self about being dyslexic and encouraging him to not see that as a disability, but to see that as a different way of learning, and even think about it as a superpower, and to encourage him to be confident and bold about being dyslexic.
And what do you think would be the key to unlocking entrepreneurship in Lancaster youth?
Well, I think entrepreneurship is something that anybody can do, but it's not just about setting up businesses, it's about a way of thinking. So anything that makes people think in a way that's a bit more entrepreneurial, you might say like a growth mindset, so helping people to think more visually, more creatively, think about solutions, work in teams, be creative. All of those things help you to have an entrepreneurial mindset. So anything that could be done in the way of workshops or experiences that would help people just be more creative and innovative would help Lancaster be more entrepreneurial.
Do you think today teenagers have the same challenges as you when you were a teenager?
I think some things are similar, but some things are very different. So I think teenagers today want the same things that I did when I was young. I wanted to be with friends, I wanted to have a good time, I wanted to explore the world, do new things. So I think those things are probably all similar, be part of something. What's changed, of course, is two things, I think. One is social media. So social media helps bring people together, but also social media has the power to exclude and isolate. So I think we didn't have to deal with social media, that attention. And the other thing that's changed, I think, is we recognise the importance of diversity now, whether that's on gender, ethnicity, even neurodiversity. I think we're beginning to see that we're a better society the more diverse we are. So I think those are the two things which are different, but also provide opportunities.
Coming back to the entrepreneurship for the Lancaster's youth, I think that the key is mental and emotional well-being, creative outlet and safe environments to explore. Also freedom to think outside of the box with fear of humiliation. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I think that's really good. I think you've summed it up well. And I think maybe one thing that we could look to is to create a space where young people can do that. And you said a really critical word there, which was feeling safe enough to explore new things. So I felt when I was young, I didn't have the confidence always to do new things. So if I was with friends or other people that would encourage me and support me, then I could develop a more entrepreneurial mindset, just like you've described.
If you were Prime Minister, what would you do for teenagers?
Well, I'd be worried if I was Prime Minister, and so should you be. But I think if I was Prime Minister, the first thing I would do was start a conversation. So I wouldn't do anything. I would just ask you and other young people, what do you want? What's important to you? So I think the first thing is to listen. And then I think my job as Prime Minister would be to say, okay, what can we do to move resources, people and money to help you achieve those things? So the first step is listen before doing anything.
What activities did you enjoy when you were a teenager?
Oh, two things I really loved. One was pool. So I used to meet my friends, and we used to go to a cafe which had a few pool tables, and we would just play pool. But in fact, we weren't just playing pool. We were joking, messing about, and that I really enjoyed. And the other big thing I enjoyed, and still enjoy today, is motorbikes. So my big thing when I was young was being part of a, not quite a biker gang, but I was a biker with my friends. So yeah, pool and riding motorbikes.
Did you feel safe when you were doing those activities?
Well, I wasn't always safe when I was on my motorbike, but I'm much safer now, I think. Yeah, I did, and I think it was really important because we used to all meet where we felt safe, and we used to have a good time together. So even, and actually playing pool and riding a motorbike, I was part of a group and I felt much safer being part of a group.
Is there any activities that you wish you would have tried or had available to you where you lived at that time?
Yeah, well, I mean, now I've experienced lots of things I never even knew were possible. And I think because of my dyslexia, I'd got quite a narrow view on what was possible. Now I don't see my dyslexia as a barrier. I see it as a way of doing new things. So I think, I think I appreciate there are far more opportunities than I was ever aware of.
Is there anything you would tell to a young teenager who's suffering with dyslexia?
Well, I would say that the people around you are going to be worried if you have dyslexia, and you will have experienced a lot of challenges if you've got to the point that someone said you're dyslexic. So I would say try to see beyond the label of being dyslexic and beyond the label of a disability, and just think, actually, it's not that I'm disabled, it's just that I think differently. So what can I do to develop that and really enhance the things that I'm really good at? So think about being dyslexic as dyslexia means that you think in a slightly different way, and that could be actually a superpower. So I would say don't see your dyslexia as a disability, see it as a superpower, and work on making that superpower a really strong thing about your life.
How could they help themselves get through the tough high school years?
Yeah,
as
well,
dyslexic?
I had a tough time at school, so I failed everything at school. So when I left school, I thought I was a failure. So I would say try to find people that are like you. Once you know that you're not on your own, you're not the only person with dyslexia, you begin to realize that actually there's some really positive things about being dyslexic. So you're much more empathic, you understand what it's like to be in someone else's shoes, you've got the ability to think in a really different way where you see the whole picture, not just the little things. So I would concentrate on trying to be with people who recognize the value of being slightly different and develop that superpower.
Do you think E2M or Escape2Make would help young people with dyslexia meet together and help each other through this tough time?
I think it would be really powerful, because not only would you be bringing people together and you'd meet other people with dyslexia, what you'd realise is that it's not a disability, it's a superpower. And I think all the things that Escape2Make can do would actually increase your creativity, increase your confidence, increase your ability to work as a team, to express and communicate complex ideas in really simple ways. So I think it could really turn what would be seen as a real challenge at school, and actually then before you leave school you know you've got a superpower. So many children are leaving school with dyslexia thinking they're stupid, they're lazy, they're thick, and actually it's the opposite. And I don't think you should have to wait till you're 18 to understand that. Why can't you understand it at 11 and then start to work to others to really build that superpower?
Thank you for speaking to me.
Thanks, Chris.